that on to the consumer, but that's going to vary based on how much they need to change the models. But 3 years from now, they would have to do that, and that would be passed over to the consumer. But let me also say that those in the upper 50%, those are the fancier ones also, and so that what we're really protecting are those that really are working with entry-level stoves, which are in this bottom 50, this other 50%.
I yield back.
Thank you. Chair now recognizes Ms. Boebert, our friend from Colorado.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. It's amazing. I've heard today that this will have no impact on consumers, and then I also heard that in 3 years these changes will be required to take place, and the companies will then have to make those adjustments and pass on those increases to consumers. So it would seem that there's certainly a deficit to the American people in this. Undersecretary Richmond, why does the Biden administration not care about the hardworking Americans struggling to make ends meet that won't be able to afford your agency's new regulations for gas stoves? As we just heard, in 3 years, this will be passed on to consumers for gas stoves, clothes washers, dishwashers, clothes dryers, air conditioners, light bulbs, etc.
Well, thank you for that question. My statistics are really about the gas stoves with regards to that issue. But let me again reinforce the fact that 50% of those gas stoves.
That still gets passed on to the consumer. So just by saying that somebody is more well off, more wealthy than someone else, that doesn't matter, that argument is not flying with me. From mandating new electric vehicles and electric stove mandates to promoting ESG extremism to pushing radical Green New Deal policies, there's one thing you can always count on in this administration to do, and that's put the American people and our economy last. Dr. Richmond, do you believe, like many of our other colleagues, like many of your other colleagues in the Biden administration, that gas stoves strongly contribute to climate change through greenhouse gas emissions?
Well, I'm here today to talk about the
do you believe that gas stoves, which you said you're here to talk about, do they contribute strongly to climate change through greenhouse gas emissions?
We believe that anything that puts out carbon dioxide does contribute to more, such as a gas stove.
Interesting. So I'd respond by pointing out that many of the false and misleading studies that have been cited by this administration to support banning gas stoves were authored and paid for by radical environmental extremists and these activists with an agenda to ban fossil fuels entirely. Now, you testified that the Department of Energy does not have the authority to ban gas stoves. Does Consumer Product Safety Commission have the authority to ban gas stoves?
I don't believe so, but that's not something I'm certain about. I'd be happy
well, then why, Dr. Richmond, did Richard Trumka Jr., a commissioner appointed by Joe Biden at the Consumer Product Safety Commission, say, and I quote, "Gas stoves are a hidden hazard. Any option is on the table. Products that can't be made safe can be banned," end quote.
The Department of Energy has no authority to ban gas stoves.
If the Biden administration isn't seeking to ban gas stoves, as you claim, then why did a Biden-appointed Commissioner Trumka initiate a notice for proposed rulemaking to ban gas stoves in American homes?
I cannot answer that because the Department of Energy has no authority to ban gas stoves.
Does the Consumer Product Safety Commission have that authority?
I don't believe
you have
so.
a commissioner here advocating for this. Has Commissioner Trumka ever been disciplined for going rogue, as you were trying, as some are trying to claim that he did?
The Department of Energy does not have the authority to ban gas stoves.
Has he ever been? Has Commissioner Trumka ever been disciplined for going rogue with this statement?
I have no idea.
If he hasn't been disciplined, he is still an acting Consumer Product Safety Commissioner, and he has aggressively tried to ban gas stoves in American homes. This is shameful that you can sit here and try to claim that the Biden administration isn't trying to ban gas stoves. Do you think that Commissioner Trumpka should resign or be disciplined for his comments and efforts to ban gas stoves and end this consumer product?
I'm sorry, I don't have anything to say about that.
You wouldn't condemn any remarks like that? Mr. Chairman, I would like to yield the remainder of my time to you.
Thank you very much. So I'm trying to reconcile something, Doctor. Your testimony said repeatedly that half the models of gas stoves that are on the market today would not comply. But, you know, obviously, glass half full, then half would. But then when you do the research and you read the Department of Energy's own estimates, it reflects that 96% would be non-compliant. Please help me reconcile these two figures.
Thank you so much. I've been trying to slip
Again,
that in.
don't thank me, just please
No, okay,
help
here
us
we go. 50% like you talked about, the other 50%. So what we did was take a small subset, the 96% comes from the fact that we took a small subset of those that would not comply, the ones that looked like they would least comply, and we did tests on them. We did tests on them to see actually would they comply or not. There were 21 of those. One of them did comply, 20 did not. So it was 96% that did not comply of the 21 models, but there are many more than that. So that's where the 90.
But that's a pretty good sample size. I mean, any statistician would tell you. Do you randomly pick these 21 models?
They were the ones that when we looked at them, well, it wasn't particularly random because we looked at all the manufacturing specifications that they had there, and we looked at the ones that had features that seemed to be the least efficient. So we took those 21. That's why these 21 are really the ones that seem to be the least efficient, whether it be whatever component it is. And only one of those 21 then passed.
But why wouldn't you pick a sample size that would reflect the market?
Because in this case, we actually did physical tests on them, and we don't have the capacity to physically test all of them until the rules are passed, and then we are able to make sure that they comply.
Okay, my time is up. Chair recognizes our friend from Florida, Mr. Moskowitz.
Xin chào tất cả các bạn. Rất vui vì được gặp lại các bạn trong video ngày hôm nay. Hôm nay chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau tô màu về bức tranh quả cà chua. Mời các bạn hãy cùng đón xem hết video của mình nhé.